Wow, it was a beautiful day for diving. The water was nice and it was clear, and there were lots of fish. There were dolphins and groupers, stingrays and grunts. One thing I noticed was the deeper they went, the harder they were to see. It gets dark down there. I think I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on. How about if we meet back here in a little while, and I'll let you know what I find. I've been busy since I saw you last. I looked into the issue of the disappearing fishies, and what I found that it does indeed get darker and darker the deeper and deeper you go. Now, I was only a little bit under the surface, but many of the fish and the ocean-going mammals, such as the dolphins and the whales, go much, much deeper. What do you think happens when they dive down beneath the water? The answer is that not everyone dives all that deep. Most of them are in the top sunlight zone. Those that eat plants are going to find slim pickings if they go beyond the point where the sunlight penetrates. The deeper they go, the more specialized they have to become. It might be easier to visualize this if we do a demonstration. Besides, projects are fun. The first zone is the closest to the surface and the sunlight's able to penetrate. You want to fill your container with water all the way to the top. And put maybe one drop in there. Doesn't have to be much. And you see I've already put in some sea creatures, a little bit of plants because this is the only place the plants grow, and a stingray. Oops. And when you put your tops on, you want to be real careful to do this straight because otherwise it's going to leak all over the table. There we go. The light only penetrates about 100 meters, and after that it starts to get darker and darker. So as we go into the next one, you'll see that it's much deeper in color. So it's pretty dark already, so let's put 4 drops or so in there. At this level, the plants that depend on light aren't going to be able to survive. The sunlight just doesn't penetrate well enough. Plants and animals that depend on the light, they can't live here. Some sharks and whales, squid and jellyfish are found here. This is the land of hunters, because what do they eat? They eat each other. Zone 3 is the deep ocean. For this level, at a good size drop of color, because it's black down here. Only the most specialized of animals can live there. The only lights that are produced are the ones that are produced by bacteria. Some of the fish have actually managed to harness this bacteria and use it as bait to catch other fish. The strangest looking animals live down here. They've got huge teeth and little lights. Strange, strange things. They're all highly adapted. You have to be when you're down in a place where the sunlight doesn't reach. Some of the fish that we find down here would be the hatchet fish, the fangtooth, all long-toothed hunters live in this dark, dark world down below. Ooh, we talked about long-fanged fish. They're really horrible-looking creatures down there. The last zone goes all the way to the seafloor. It's called the abyss. We're going to put a lot of color in this one. It is black, black, black down there. Now there are very few fish and very few animals that can live down this deep because there just isn't any light at all and hasn't been for a long time. Abyss means that it's so deep it doesn't even seem to have a bottom to it. Animals need to travel a long distance to find food. They need to travel a long way to find mates. And there just aren't very many of them. To see this area, we can't even go in a submarine. It's too deep. You have to go in a deep sea submersible. They found some interesting things down there, though. They found a few starfish. They found a rat-tail fish with a long, long tail, and a squid with huge eyes. Another thing they found is the Dumbo octopus, named after the Disney creature. It has great big round ears that flap so it can swim. One of the interesting things they found down there that was a real surprise, they found deep sea vents. Deep sea vents are like little volcanoes, and up out of the volcanoes come hot, poisonous material from deep inside the earth. You would think it would kill everything. It doesn't kill everything. There are thriving colonies of tube worms and mussels and crabs. Amazing. But they don't live on the sunlight. What they live on is the bacteria. The bacteria live off the material coming out of the volcanoes, and the tube worms and such live off the bacteria. So they have a whole environment down there that is nothing like what we find on Earth, more like what we find in space. The deeper you go, the darker it gets, and the more adapted animals need to be in order to survive. One of the interesting things I did find was that sometimes the animals from down deep go up towards the surface at nighttime when it's dark up there. Hunting is better. They grab what they can, and then as the sun rises, they go back into the depths, like ever so many vampires.